So about 9 months ago, I bought a $250 stuffed PS5 controller. And the reason why it was so much money was because it has 4 paddles and mouse triggers. And I'm not gonna lie, the controller was pretty good. But now after 9 months, it has stick drift. Like look, I'm gonna move my joystick a little bit and look what happens. My character just starts randomly just moving. Like it's so annoying. And it keeps doing it, look. I try to stop it, it just keeps drifting still. Like it's really annoying, especially since I don't even play controller that much. I maybe play controller 5 times a month just so I can aim assist kids. And that's literally it, and I still got stick drift. Like my old PS4 controller, I used to play daily on it and it took 2 years for that to get stick drift. But this stuffed controller only took 9 months of barely playing on it to get stick drift. So it's low-key kind of a scam. So if you plan on buying a stuffed controller, just watch out. You're probably gonna get stick drift pretty fast. Alright, enough complaining, let's try to fix this drift. But first we gotta figure out what causes the drift. And I've been doing a lot of research and I found out the reason why controllers get drift is because they use a protimeter sensor, which I definitely pronounced hella wrong, but just go with it, bro. That word sounds so sophisticated, but the sensor is actually really bad. Like when you move your joystick and stuff, the sensor gets worn out really fast, so that's why you get controller drift. And a lot of these big companies like PlayStation and Xbox use these sensors, which is why a lot of people get stick drift. These companies could easily switch over to the better sensors, which are the Hall effect sensors, but for some reason they don't. Probably because they want to make more money, because when you get stick drift, you probably end up buying a new controller, hence they make more money. Anyways, I believe there's only 2 real ways to fix stick drift. First and easiest way is by simply going to your Fortnite controller settings, and all you have to do is just turn the dead zone up and boom, you don't have any controller drift anymore. And that usually works for me on my PS4 controller all the time. But on the stuffed PS5 controller, nope, it doesn't work at all. I could literally turn my dead zone to like the maximum and it still wouldn't work. So since that didn't work, the only thing I can do was replace the sensors. And I saw a TikTok on how to do it. It didn't really seem that hard. Basically, you just remove your joystick cover and under it, there's like 2 green squares. You just take apart the green square and inside of it, there's like a disc-shaped sensor. All I gotta do is replace those discs with the new ones. And the guy on the TikTok did it without taking the controller apart. So I was like, that seems pretty easy. So I bought 8 sensors from Amazon for like $15 and a couple days later they came. And now all I had to do was replace that circular sensor like that TikTok. So I first took the faceplate and analog stick cover off. And I used my fingernails to pull the green thing apart so I can get to the sensor. Ah, my finger. It took like 10 minutes, but I finally put it apart as much as I could. But now the problem was the circular sensor wouldn't come out. I legit tried for like 2 hours to pull it out with everything. So I rewatched that guy's TikTok and I found out the reason why his pulled out so fast and easy was because his controller was a PS4 controller and mine's a PS5 controller. Basically what happened was with the PS5 controller, PlayStation made it literally impossible to pull the sensor out without fully taking your controller apart, because you need to pull the green thing far back a little bit more to take the sensor out, but there's not enough space to do that. So then after like 5 hours of debating on what to do, I was like, screw it, let's just take the controller apart. I then unscrewed the 2 screws in the back of my controller, which by the way were so hard to unscrew. Why do they make it so tight, bro? Why are these screws so tight? They're about as tight as your mom. So after unscrewing those 2 screws, I thought I could just rip the controller apart and it open. And I'm really strong. I can bench 200 pounds, do a back clap push up, and I still couldn't rip it open. It was crazy, bro. And guess why I couldn't rip it open? It turned out there was 2 hidden screws in the L1 and R1. Like who hides 2 screws, bro? Like, oh my god, that look-y made me so mad. But anyways, I unscrewed those 2 screws, took the controller apart, and this is what the inside of a stuff looks like. Now it comes out. And while I was taking it apart, I somehow broke the little button on it. Oh no. That thing goes there. And I have it here. Yeah, hopefully that part isn't that important. But anyways, I took all the wires and stuff out and got to the joystick, which is the important part. Nice. And then I just pulled the little green thing out more and just got the disc out. All right, the sensor out. This is the sensor. And I just put the new one that I bought in and it was pretty simple. And I just pushed the green thing back in with the new sensor. And I did that for all 4 of the green things. But one of them, I pulled it too far back and it broke. No. And I had no clue what to do with it, so I just jammed it back in. And I just prayed that green thing didn't matter that much. So I then just fully reassembled my controller. That's just so hard. All right, we're back to normal. I don't know where this came from. It just came out. Let's just forget about that, okay? Hopefully it works. Let's test it. I'm about to plug it in. Let's see. I have to like hold it open. Alright, let's see. But what is this? Dude! What is that? Are you serious right now? I guess the green thing did matter. The buttons work? Okay, all the buttons work. The paddles don't work. None of the paddles work. Actually, one of the paddles worked. This paddle worked. So I guess like those little things that fell out were for the paddles. So all these other buttons work. Oh my god, bro. All this worked for nothing. I just messed up my controller even more. So now the only thing I had to do was ask Scuf support for a new controller or ask them to fix this one. So that's exactly what I did. I filled out their support form and sent it to them. And guess what? It's been 11 days and they literally left me on red. They sent me one email saying, oh, we have a bunch of tickets right now. Sorry, we can't help. We'll try to get back to you when we can. They're definitely not getting back to me, bro. I'm never trusting a controller company again. Mouse companies are so much better. I told Logitech my mouse broke, and you know what they did? In 2 days, they sent me a new one. Literally 2 days. And now I have 2 Logitech G Pro wirelesses. But anyways, hopefully one day these controller companies stop being greedy and just add better sensors so we don't get controller drift. And until that day happens, I'm gonna just play keyboard. But whenever I feel like playing controller, I'll just play on my PS4 controller.